Hello, today I'm coming to you into your homes from the heart of Chazanga. I've really been touched by a story of two women, separate, bringing up separate types of lives, but they have come together to show that a woman, two women can hold hands and make things happen. These children you're seeing around me actually are from a community school which only started with two children. An incredible woman, this lady here, Esther, started this from an experience she had in life. Herself was orphaned at only 3 years old. At 24, she came up with the initiative of starting this school, which only started with two children. But right now, there are about 106 children. This is not all the children that she supports. But looking at the magnitude of how the school was growing, how much the school needed, she went to ask for a helping hand from heart to heart. This is what Woman 360 is talking about today. The heart of a woman, the heart of a mother, and how she can change the community. So these children here, I've chatted a bit with them, have got a message for you guys out there. You guys, what did we say? 1, 2, 3, what do we tell the people? We are That's a very clear message. These are children from the womb of a woman. And Heart to Heart is headed by a mother who is so generous that she has brought so much for these children. They're so excited. It's so humbling that Woman 360 really is a part of this to just help tell the story of how a woman can be the heart of the community. Let's talk to these women who are involved in this so that we get the whole story. I'm Judy Nguluve. All right, Woman 360 today has opened with me and a whole lot of children. Now, who is responsible for those children? Who had the heart to say, if you cannot afford school, if you want to feel like, you know, a little bit of education, she brought up a community school starting with only 2 to the number of 106. Now, who is this lady? Her name is Esther Banda. We're going to get to hear her story. Esther, how are you?
Fine, and how are you, madam?
Fine, thank you. Now, Esther, tell me a little bit about your growing up. I know it's a long story, but a summary.
Just a summary. Nyanja.
Yes, no problem. You can even go ahead in Nyanja. Sure.
Okay. I'm a double orphan. My mother and my father died. Then there is someone who was keeping me. Then the difficulty which I face is which makes me to open the school orphanage, to make sure that I don't want my fellow friends, these children, to pass through the same problem which I passed through. So I came up when I was at school. There is a certain radio who came in a school at Petauke Boarding High School. He said, I want to sponsor a girl child. I was the one, and Suvia Mlenga. Then he sponsored me from grade 10 up to grade 12. After I finished grade 12, I came here in Lusaka from Eastern Province. I joined to stay with my sister, Gertrude. Then I decided to open the orphanage school to help these double orphans and vulnerable.
So how did you start? Did you just go around the compound to announce that I'm opening this school, or how exactly did from 2 only pupils to the number they are right now?
I started with 4 children, Angeline and Matthews and Christopher. Those children, there was double orphans. So I was just calling them at my place where I was staying to chat with them. Then I was asking them, are you going to school? He said that no, we are not going to school because someone who's taking care of us, he can't afford us to take us to school. So I said, oh, okay, why? My mother and my father died, so I don't want anyone to take me to school. So I said, okay. It's how I decided to say that, okay, let me just start with these children to teach them. So I asked those who was keeping them to say that, oh, can I get these children to be staying with them? He said, okay, no problem, you can take them. So it's how I start my school with 4 children.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the word went round as every day another person came on.
Yes, and every day another person came to say that help my children, my grandchildren, something like that.
Okay. So where do you see the school going?
This school, I want this school to reach almost up to grade 12. But unfortunately, there's lots of challenges from, like as you can see, the building. The teachers don't have teachers. Those who have had to do voluntary without getting anything. I only have 1 month. That's all.
Okay. Now, if you look at what our country is and how it has become, people say things are difficult, it's not easy to help and things like that. But as a woman who's only at 24 and is doing what they can, what can you say about that?
What I can say, they are saying that things are difficult. Things, yes, they can be difficult, but like a woman, you have to be strong to go around to look for something which can help her, not just sitting at home. Like after having 4 children, I even decided to see the life which widows pass through. I talked to one certain of the widows. He told me the situation he passing through. Then, because I even learned how to make the bags using plastic, making a bracelet, whatever. So I talked to one widow. I discussed with them, said that no, it's better to start doing this to make the bags, so that instead of you staying home and just misusing your life in the bar, doing bad thing, because you can't find the food in the bar, you're going to just get a disease from that side.
And yes, of course, that reminds me, you also have a women's organization that you are working with different women. How is that going, and how is it working in tandem, in collaboration with the school?
Okay, the women's, they're making the bags. When they sell those bags, the little amount, they're helping the schools, donating some little amount so that we can have the help for the buying chalks, crayons, books, something like that.
So what time that we're living in, do you think a woman can make a difference in a country, in a community?
Yes, very much sure. A woman can make a difference, because a woman is a person. I mean, I'm working hard, maningi. You see, like widow mkazi, vana mena msiila, ama industry piece work, he can able to provide the food at home. But with mamuna widow, he can't do that. Maybe angaende chabeku mawakuma forgetting vana. You found vana wambili, wamene wana sala mawidowa, wasingi wana mawidowa. They are there in the streets. But wajamina nkana mkazi, widow mkazi ama working hard, kushta provide food for those children. Yeve sankalat na that hard tinizasevania, he can go kwendo shta piece work to wash the clothes to provide the food at home.
Okay.
Yabana. Then he can make a difference. Sare kila bana bake twaende mu street or baende kut. She had that heart.
Okay. So now tell me, when you see these children smile, they are happy, and the women group that you have just prospering and making progress, how does that make you feel?
I can feel good.
That you're achieving your goal, isn't it?
Yes, I can feel good. That's my goal.
Esther, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
For still watching Women 360. Now I'm going to be talking to Edna Ngoma, who is the chairperson for Heart to Heart. Let's first get to know a little bit more about what Heart to Heart Foundation is all about and what really prompted her to come through to Chazanga and donate these items that she has. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
And I must say it's a great gesture that you've done here. It's quite touching.
Thank you.
So what is Heart to Heart Foundation all about?
Heart to Heart Foundation is charitable organization. We started it in 2012 after my husband died. I was so broken that I thought I should do something in his memory. That's how Heart to Heart was born.
Wow, that's really passionate.
Yeah.
2012 till date, what has been your experience?
My experience has been challenging actually, because when you go in places like this one, you find a lot of poverty. There are so many children who haven't been able to access the government schools, and to see that there are people in this compound who care, for such people who try to educate, even in very challenging situations. I got touched by Esther. I met her in town, and somehow, I don't know, she recognized me from another program that I had, and she approached me to ask me how I can help. So I told her that, no, give me your phone number. When I'm ready, I'll come and visit you.
Okay.
So that's how I came here. And then I found that the children didn't have desks, uniforms or anything, and they were just here for the sake of, being somewhere, because some of them are orphans, street kids, and, so that's how I got interested. And from that time, I've been working with her to see how we can work together and try and change.
Okay. What would you say about people who say that women don't work together for the progress of a nation?
Well, it depends on the circumstances, but I think I've been working with these women here, and I think we've worked very well. Yeah.
And most people, the world isn't as innocent as it was if it was at a time like that anyway. And most people would look at a person who sets up a foundation to help. I know when I, did some background work on Heart to Hearts, you deal with HIV/AIDS, women and children, the street kids, people who are just widows. Yes. And most people nowadays would say, people who are setting up these foundations are looking out just for donors and things like that. What would you say?
No, I don't think so. Like for me, I've not even bothered to ask. I do fundraising ventures, and when I get money from the ventures, I give it away to the people. What can I say?
Yeah, raising the funds for.
Funds for, and there's a record to show that. Okay. So for me, I don't even look at the money. I just want to help where I can, because I've never asked for anyone to come in and help.
And that is very evident, because all I've seen here is you and your daughter.
Yes.
And you're helping carry the desks to the class. Which is very, very touching.
Yes.
Now, tell me something. What really moved you about coming to help Esther here at her community school, as well as the women, the foundation the group of women that she's also working with?
Actually, I've got a heart of a compassionate heart. She just approached me to ask me if I could come and visit her and see what she's doing. So when I made an effort to come and visit her, that's when I found that she was actually doing so much with very little. And then I thought to myself, if this young girl at 24 can do so much, what about me, who's even privileged to have what I have? So that's how I came here and saw the children, and I saw they needed help, and that's what made me come.
If it was up to you, entirely up to you, with all the resources, what would you do for such people, such women, such children in such Zambian communities?
Actually, like God willing, if maybe I have some money in future, I want to build them a school, and also introduce feeding, to feed them, when they come to school, because I've noticed a lot of children don't eat in this compound. There's so much poverty because of that. There was even a child, whom I saw for myself eating soil. So if I had the chance to have whatever the resources that I can have, I would build a school, introduce feeding time, and help the women. I can do a lot of things. Introduce, I don't know what I can say. There's so much I would want to do, like to just uplift the standard of, people, especially in this place.
Okay. So how are you going to move forward from what has been done here? Because I've seen you've donated cement, desks, even things which we think are as basic as just pictures and learning aid for the children. I've seen those pictures and paintings that you've brought for the children. You've donated a wheelchair to one of the pupils here. Where are you moving forward with Esther and her community school, as well as her women's group?
Well, first of all, this school is not even registered. I've realized that it's not registered. So from now on, I want to start, the process of registering the school, so that maybe it can be incorporated in the government. What can I say?
Distribution of funds and programs as well.
Yeah, so that something can start happening. Because in future we really want to do, because they're renting this unfinished building. As you can see, it doesn't even have a roof on the other side. So we are hoping that, God willing, if all goes well, we build a school, to accommodate these children.
What can you say about women having a heart for a mother? Does it exist in our world today? Is it there anymore?
Well, I have a heart, so I believe other women do have the same heart as me, just that maybe they're too busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And someone who would say, but I only have 2 pairs of shoes, or my kids cannot wear these t-shirts anymore, but then this is too small for me to donate to somebody else. What can you say about that?
Well, they should think again, because there's always something that you can do. There's so many children who don't have clothes, who don't have shoes. And I think Zambia is a rich country, and if we all just put our hands together, we'll do a lot.
You're watching Women 360. Now, Sarah here has been coming to this community school for the last year. She has had the privilege to even get a wheelchair from Heart to Heart Foundation in collaboration with Tapera Industries, who've actually donated this wheelchair for her. At 15 years old, this is the only form of education she's receiving. Sarah, ulishan? Wamfule chani chibali kuletela wheelchair? Nambela bwino ka? But umbela bwanji ngati wabwera pano wasobera na wanzako? Okay. Ni message ya ungabauze chani wanzako wamene wamvera monga siwangaende ku school o siwangasobere na wanzao?
Ngabauze uti mukalienda ku school.
Okay. All right, my chat here with Sarah is actually the winding up interview on Woman 360 today. Evidently, from how she feels, from how she's just smiling, you can tell that she's really happy that someone really did think of her and brought her a wheelchair. And she's also glad that she spends a lot of time here at a community school which is providing something she can call education. For Woman 360, I'm Judy Nguluwe. See you next week for another interesting item talking about women.
Chifukwa cha mtima wanu wabwino. Alendo